Because what happens is the only way you can disprove what NASA's telling you is by going and verifying the measurements that they're saying. So in order for somebody to prove the solar system, somebody needs to go to Saturn and measure it. Somebody needs to go to Jupiter and see the real size. Angular size means nothing because Jupiter can be closer and smaller. And it can, there's lots of, now again, people are going to say, well, then everything else will be thrown off. Absolutely. I'm not saying you would just take one thing. That every planetary body could be very close. Every star could be very close and much, 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 much smaller. It still works mathematically. It's just they've built it at a certain point and it's a self-correcting code to where your only way, and that's why NASA puts out this big hoopla about how hard it is to go to, how amazing are we going to space, and look at us do this spacewalk again to go fix a toaster. I mean, this is all propaganda. Think of the money that goes into these space uniforms, the spacesuits, all the apparatuses, all the gases to breathe, all the hoses and the hooks and the carabiner clips and you name it. And the danger you're putting people into to go outside and drill a little screw. It's ridiculous. It's not even close to being anywhere near reality. It's just not. We're smarter human beings than that. We're just smarter. Even the dumbest of us is not. You would never say, okay, we're going to build this craft in space. Where do we put the access panels? On the outside. Well, shouldn't we build an access panel on the inside? So no, put them on the outside. And then we'll have everybody pre-breathe, put on some big uniform. It's 500 pounds heavier than they are. Then they have to go and they have to be connected to hoses, and they've got to have a 13-team crew that's in the center, and they got to be talking to them constantly. You got to have. We're going to have to get a giant pool, and put a second ISS inside the pool, and then we'll do all these practices. That each person will have to practice 50 times in this pool with different suits, with different helmets and different hoses, and we'll have to have a bunch of scuba divers that will then accompany them as they swim through the pool. And this will be training for when they actually have to go to space and then get in the real suits and really go out in space. It's ridiculous. It is a joke. It's embarrassing. Aren't you embarrassed? I'm embarrassed for that. Why would anybody ever dream that we would spend that kind of money unless we're just stealing money from people? Unless we're just taking money from people, making them poor, making them believe in a fantasy world. There's no other reason you would ever do that. It's just there would be so many other. You would not keep a craft in orbit of the Earth for 19 years doing nothing without a 24/7 camera on it. We got the craft up there going around 19 years, 19 times a day, and we don't have a 24/7 video camera of the Earth on it? Why not? What do you mean? Well, what could possibly be the reason? We've been to the moon 6 times, and you got all these children in schools and people asking, well, how do eclipses work? And you've got to show all these little drawings, and you would go put a craft on the moon, put a camera on it, turn it towards the Earth, and leave it forever. And you would put a little website up, and there would have Pizza Hut, and there would have Taco Bell little logos, and you would go there, and you would always get to see the Earth spinning in space from the moon, and it would be paid for by the company's logos there. These are things that would happen in reality. And when they don't happen, and there's nothing even close to them happening, and then you get people saying, well, we had the technology to go to space, but we lost that technology, and it's really too expensive to get it back. It's not reality. Sorry. Somebody didn't build a hard drive, and then we lost that technology, and it's too expensive to get it back. No, well, somebody knew how to do it, so we can do it. It's just not the way things work. It's just not reality, and the whole thing is a story. It's a sad one, too.